Whoop whoops for me? Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, and sorry, I hope it's not too cold out there. Got some heat coming at you. First of all, I want to talk to you a little bit about our design process. Clearly you see the vehicle there, so there's no secret anymore. Well, we took those 2 years off. It's kind of like what we call a gap year. You know, when kids decide to take some time off before they decide what they want to do in life. And by the way, I have a long history with this car. My dad bought a 1985 Cherokee, and it meant the world to me. It was like a year before I get my driver's license. I did some unspeakable, wonderful things with that car. But I've been in love with that vehicle since that day and even today. Its simplicity, its authenticity. So the brief for the team was very straightforward. Let's go back to basics. We want it to be rugged, much more useful in terms of everyday and then some. And then bring the tech, but don't clobber people over the head with the tech. Just integrate the tech. And then we even looked at a lot of different themes. I mean, we had some pretty wild stuff, to be honest with you. And I would argue the last generation Cherokee kind of went that direction. It was very futuristic and it had an audience, but it had to be compromised to do that. We lost some cargo room and kind of sacrificed other things. This time around, we went back in a way to our roots. And we went with a design that is, I think, it's going to be as timeless as the XJ was. And you can see it's featuring its function, it's owning its approach angles, owning its proportions. And we did another thing that's a bit counter-trend. We lowered the belt line. You see a lot of people driving cars these days, you can barely see out of them, right? So we opened up the windows. We want you to have that connection with the outdoors. And it's, of course, rugged. I mean, this is just the beginning. We have a whole bunch of ideas in store for this car. But you see it in the details. You know, very honest cut lines that remind you of the original. I love the face. It's simple. It's that unified grille with 7 slots are very prominent. And then the back of the car is iconic. I'll tell you more about that in a second when you look at the details. You'll see them coming at you day or night. You'll recognize those iconic eyes. Now that's borrowed a little bit from the Wrangler. You'll see some of that in the Recon. But it's our new signature as we go forward. And the tail lamps, if you remember, the Renegade was inspired by the jerry can. The jerry can aesthetic, that stamped can. Those are now making a new comeback in a different way. So very subtle, but if you know, you know, kind of thing. So, and then the colors. So again, we're going to have a lot of fun. So it's going to come in a whole bunch of colors. And one of my favorites is coming a little bit later. It's called Copper Chino. So watch that space. But just like a tuxedo, it's going to look fantastic. In a city like New York, it's going to look outstanding in diamond black, right? Really serious and absolutely urban, so it can do that when it needs to. But in my opinion, it looks better when it's out here. The new Cherokee is designed to be authentically us. And you know exactly what that means. There's a lot of SUVs out there that are RRQs. Our trapezoidal wheel arches aren't everybody's car these days. But we went back to our roots. We don't have to try to be someone we're not. And this car will look good in a lot of driveways and I think fit a lot of people's personalities. So in the interior, same thing, simplicity. You'll notice there's no screens obscuring you in the outside world. Everything is integrated. We featured the width of the vehicle, very simple, integrated look, much more refined than you'd expect, and all the functionality is there. But another focus we had was sustainability. A very young team worked on this. I wish they were here today to talk to you, but we had some very inspired 28-year-olds telling us, you know, we gotta think about this differently. So almost every material on the interior of the vehicle has a purpose, has a deeper meaning. All of the leather is not leather. It's actually ecologically sourced vinyl alternatives. But we have a new antimicrobial steering wheel cover, where that literally kind of cancels the germs, so you don't have to wipe it down all the time. And then we have the soft trim, which is all from recycled materials all over the vehicle. So everything you see is soft. It's upcycled, I would say, not just recycled, so a higher purpose for what would have been thrown into a landfill. And then the headliner, which is one of the largest parts of the car that covers the whole roof, is 100% recycled. And it goes on and on from there. So this is one of the first forays, but Jeep is looking at these things in everything that we do. Interior, exterior materials you don't even see are being considered this way. And then finally, a function. We more than tripled the amount of storage in this vehicle for everyday needs. So you never try to figure out where to stuff stuff. We know people always come with their game, their big giant Stanley things, you know, drinking water and phones, and everything's at your reach. And that's the whole idea. So it makes your life nice and easy. And the tech, like I talked about, we're using the best digital screens money can buy, rich blacks. But the big idea here was to detox the interior. Not a bunch of technology looking at you. Look how simple the gauges are. Only the information you need and nothing you don't. Same with Our award-winning Uconnect system makes a comeback. It looks nice and rich in a new 12.3-inch screen. But we kind of control ourselves, right? So again, not the giant tablet to kind of get in your way. It's just integrated, beautifully functional, and a joy to use. And then cargo. That was probably the number one thing we learned when we went back and did the clinic work on this vehicle, was our customers wanted more space. So we increased the cargo 30%, increased the rear seat, headroom, lateral, legroom, all of it. So when you get in the vehicle, it has this incredibly spacious interior. Secret, it almost rivals our Grand Cherokee. That's how roomy this vehicle is. And of course, when you put the seats down, perfectly flat floor for all that you may need to do those things. And then finally, when you look at this picture, my favorite picture of the car, you notice the instrument panel is what we call a west to east design. It's completely undisturbed. You just feel like you're enjoying the outdoors. And that's what this vehicle is meant to do. It's take you places, connect you back with your outdoor self, let's call it. So finally, here's the new Cherokee. I hope you like it. I hope you get to know a little better tonight and have some fun discovering, because we're just getting started with its story. Thank you.
Please welcome Wendy Orthman, Vice President of Marketing.